That's not good. We'll try that again. Your eyes do not deceive you, ladies and gentlemen, or your ears. That was the theme music to What Had Happened Was, and it has been, I'm gonna probably say 12 months, at
No,
least.
not that long.
Since we've done this show. It's been a hot minute. And as you can see, we are missing our beautiful third part, Jeffrey Emmett, today. It's just me and the lovely Miss Katrina A Johnson. But we had time, we had the window of time where we're like, we need to give the people something. Something. They deserve something. So this is us giving you something. And I thought this is a great conversation for us to have because unlike Jeffrey, we've been out in the dating world in the recent times and I know all about it. Katrina A Johnson, have you ever heard of the term the ick?
Absolutely.
Okay, so today's What Had Happened Was we are talking about the ick and all things that make you feel really ugh in the dating world. So for those of you that don't know what the ick is, we're going for a Wikipedia definition. The ick is a Gen Z slang term used to describe the feeling of disgust that arises toward a love interest, usually after a specific, often trivial behavior. The phrase was popularized by Love Island in 2017 and attracted further attention in TikTok in 2020 when many videos featured women listing their icks. And it's kind of taken off because now people have a name for the feeling. And they go, oh, that's what that is. And I have definitely felt the ick. Katrina A. Johnson, have you felt the ick before?
I mean, I definitely have. I hope no one that I've ever dated is watching or listening.
Never. That never happens, does it?
Hmm.
So, as always, I have turned to the beautiful people of BuzzFeed to find a list of stories because Kat loves
I love it.
people's drama, and then we will unlock our own. But I'm going to start the list off because
Okay.
I am what I like to call terminally single, and that's okay. We're fine with that. But there's one thing that makes me go, ugh, on a dating profile, and that is grown men who use the word cuddles. I don't know what it is, but if you're like seeking friendship and cuddles, I'm like, oh, it makes me shiver. Like it gives like visibly, I've got like hair standing up on my arm. I don't know, it just makes me think of like Arrested Development, like weird, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, just like cuddle away, yeah. When you get to know someone, or if doing whatever you're doing, and that ends up happening, that's fine. But you don't go, hi, I want cuddles. Are you a serial killer? That's serial killer behavior to
You want
me.
to put on a diaper and have me bottle feed you?
Well, we know from your Instagram that's floating around out there, but
I didn't tell anybody else. You know.
So I told you shit happens on this show, but I don't know what it is. It makes me go, okay, that's something really specific, quite intimate, but also a little bit like stunted in your development that makes me go, I like affection. Just use adult words.
But I think they want physical touch.
That's fine.
They
Affection,
want
touching.
close proximity. I think it's more than, than just affection. I think it's specific, but they could use a better way to describe it than what you would
Safe
use.
physical affection, right? They say cuddles. I like cuddles. Oh, oh. Look,
Yeah.
it's giving me. It's giving me. Yeah. Do you have anything straight out of the gate that you're like?
Honestly, I don't like people that do what I do for a living. I don't know why.
Totally.
I guess because I figure that people who are in the entertainment industry are unstable, and I don't like it. I don't want that. I don't want that for a partner. I don't want to be around someone like me. I want someone stable, someone who has a boring job, someone who's established, not someone who's a wannabe, not someone who's always trying to be something. I don't want that.
Yeah, it's hard because there's this phrase that I always use because I'm a bit of a out there person and like a bit of attention myself. We work in this kind of industry. Like I work in the arts industry. You're a former TV like star and soon to be movie star. People,
thank you.
Keep your eyes peeled. But I can't even remember where it's from. It's from a TV show, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're such a diva." I'm like, "Yes." Because if you have the baby, you can't be the baby. Right, I will be the center of attention. So I don't want their kids. I don't want no one that wants like all that kind of stuff. But I do agree.
Right. I get the ick when people are just starved for attention, when they have to be the center of attention all the time. I can't stand it. When someone is just jockeying for FaceTime, nope. Gives me the ick. And I guess it's really ultimately all of the things that I don't like about myself.
Yes, because no one likes that mirror.
Yeah, I do not want that in someone else. I want someone with a boring 9-to-5 and a big 401k and stability. I don't want anyone like me. I don't want anyone who has photographers on speed dial, who knows about hair and makeup and wardrobe. No.
Yep. Who even knows what the word per diem means? Like, you don't need to. Like, I don't want you knowing things about my existence because you're right. You're like, it is the stuff that you don't like about yourself, really. Like
I don't want a man who's like on a detox because he's got a photo shoot coming up.
Yeah,
no,
I can't eat that. I'm shredding.
Me, I'll do all the weird. Okay, you please be normal.
Please.
Yeah.
Normal's a hard stretch to find in this day and age.
So basically all the weird stuff that I do gives me the ick in like someone else.
But you don't have to date you.
Right. Thank God. That wouldn't work out at all.
That's another quote. Trixie Mattel. I don't have if people want to fuck me, that's their business. Like that's not my business. Like if you want to date me, if you want to fuck me, that's your business. But I'm not going to get involved in that craziness.
Exactly.
That's you. That's a you thing. So I'm going to give you our first story. Just ease into our first story. They're nice and short, or some of them, and you just go, oh. This one's a huge one though, because if this happens to me, I just go, I have to go. We have to leave. I have to go. A really lovely woman telling me in a sincere voice that she loved me 3 to 4 hours after meeting her. Oh, freaked me the fuck out in a way that I guess could reasonably be described as the ick. In no way was the statement couch either. Just straight up, I love you. I think I responded, no, you don't.
Yeah. No, that's too much. Way too much. No, thank you. That's not gonna work.
That's so much. It's so much pressure. That's something that I don't vibe well with either. Like, especially when you're getting to know someone, they're like, okay, well, this is what I do in relationships. This is how I my parents. What? Hey. Let's slow it right down here. Like we're at dinner. I don't care about what's happening the rest of your life. We're literally on a dinner date. You don't have I don't need.
It's way too soon. Yeah, that's love bombing, right? A lot of people do that. It's
right.
That doesn't work for
And
me.
it's,
Yeah.
I think it's a sign of something else. Like, if you're willing to,
No.
like, that dude, no,
No,
girl, she's not for
because
me.
that will make me run. There's people who do the love bomb, and then there's people that do the love run. Bye.
The love crash and burn. You're like, bye, bitch.
Nope, I'm out.
Tear out of there like Fast and the Furious. She's gone. This one is a bit longer, but I think you'll appreciate it because
Okay.
it's a little off the rails.
Get on me. I like it.
This poor lady. Okay. I went on a date with a guy I met at a party. Fair enough. That's cool. He made me prove that I liked Lord of the Rings by answering who said what when he quoted someone. Okay. A little bit weirder. It gets worse.
Great.
He pulled out a notebook of really poorly drawn anime characters and asked me if he could draw me. He was a lot shorter than me and asked me if it bothered me. I said no. Then he said, good, I like Amazonian goddesses. Okay. He kept trying to put his jewelry onto me despite my protests. He asked what I wanted to order for food, then ignored me and ordered something else. I got frustrated and didn't eat it all. Okay, that's starting to get a little bit
there.
Yeah, I know. He referenced being arrested and made me guess what for. And then when I refused to guess, for not knowing him well enough, he said GBH. So this is obviously British. Grievous bodily harm.
Wow.
We're still not we are still not finished, but do you want to unpack all that? Do you want to unpack all that first? This is halfway.
So he's a weirdo and a felon. Awesome.
He's a weirdo, a felon.
He doesn't listen.
Yeah. A bit of a toxic masculinity. He's like one of those incel guys, it sounds like look at my anime. Lord of the Rings.
Well, in my experience, those people aren't
dating
toxic masculinity, but this guy is. Okay, continue. This is
okay. You ready for the end? The end gets real strange. Okay. He was a trainee doctor and asked if I'd ever broken any bones. Okay. When I replied yes.
Hold up.
Wait.
The guy that gave the grievous bodily harm? I don't like where this is going. Red flag.
A couple. Here's another one. When I replied yes, when he said that, when I said that, he said he was going to look up my X-rays to look at her broken bones. We're still not done.
Wait.
And the icing on the cake, when I wanted to leave, he got my knee-high boots, slipped them onto my feet, zipped them up, and said, you should always be treated like a goddess. My Morticia Addams. All of this on one date. Okay. I don't know.
I have questions. Okay. All right. How was he going to look up her broken bone? Did he have her full name, her birthday, like all the things you would need in a hospital chart? Like, how did he know what hospital she went to? Like, red flag. That's very scary. Right.
Yeah. It's not okay. Like,
okay. And then he said she should be treated like a queen, but then he didn't even listen to what she wanted to eat and ordered something else. And she should be treated like a queen, and she's an Amazonian goddess, but she doesn't get to eat.
Yeah.
And he doesn't listen to anything she says. Okay. Doesn't care about her comfort. Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Like how would you do? Like, what would you? That's like a nightmare situation. All that happened at once.
And why?
That's not even a red flag.
You didn't eat.
Yeah.
That's
not even a red flag.
To share this with all of us.
That's like a burning forest of red flags. That's crazy. Like,
that's a good one. That's
every time I think I have like bad dating story. There's more out there. I'm like,
And Reddit is
I
there
don't know.
for you.
Reddit is the way to go. But look, I have been guilty, and I used to do it a lot in the past. Talk, I would tell a lot of information and then not get a lot back. Like, people like that. Like, I'll tell you about you, and I'm like, okay, hey, talking about me is my favorite thing. Thank
I'm
you.
kind of good at that.
I will go. And then, like, I'm like, oh, about you? Oh, yeah, I work. Okay. Anything to add to that, champ? Like, what else do I say? Oh, not a lot. Okay, well, now I feel like I've
Now
profiled myself to a serial killer or something.
ready for some more.
Yeah. Okay. They're short and sweet, but they're good.
Okay.
This one will be for any female out there. So enjoy this one. On a second date with a guy I liked, I mentioned that before we slept together, we should talk about birth control. He said something like, "Well, that's your responsibility." I said, "Good night and good riddance." I mean, come on.
I
All right?
because
Totally.
takes two to tango, takes two to make a human. You should be on the same page before you do that. And
I don't care. Right? Like,
no.
I know. Like, again, I'm at no risk of having a child. Thank God. But
Same.
if that was, I would be like, all right, let's sage the place. Let's like flush it out with holy water. Get me a high pressure hose. Let's like double wrap that thing. Like, I don't want. Like that's the worst thing that could happen. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can take a pill for some stuff. You can't take a pill for a oh, you can. But not a fully grown baby, you can't.
Right.
It's like, oh,
no, that's too big of a deal to just throw on the other person completely because that's how he's going to be with everything else in your relationship. No, thank you.
Exactly.
No.
And imagine if you do get pregnant, and then what? Like, if that's how he was before there was even a baby involved. Imagine what kind of father. Oh
no.
All right, this one's good. This one's good.
I need to ride to the hospital. I'm in labor. That's your responsibility.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe you shouldn't have gotten pregnant in the first place. Like, what? This one's good because I can relate to this. Like, not myself, but I've seen this in other couples, and it's really funny. My brief girlfriend bought me some hair care products before she came over because it was right by her house. In return, I said I would go grocery shopping and make her a nice dinner. I thought this to be an even exchange. Later that night, I found her looking through my trash for the receipt for the groceries to make sure that the $30 she spent on me was equal to the amount that I spent on her.
I don't like that at all.
No, that's
First of all, he was trying to do something nice, right? He was trying to make it equal. He wasn't trying to take advantage of her. He wasn't trying to spend her money or whatever. It sounds to me like she offered to go get him the hair care products or whatever it is. If it was that big a deal, he could have just Venmoed her or paid her back or something. I think it's petty that she was trying to go through the trash to find a receipt when he not only bought the groceries, but he went through the whole effort to make you a meal, right? I feel like he gets points for sweat equity at that one because it's not just the dollar amount. It's also the effort that he put forward to plan a meal, cook the meal, serve the meal, clean up the meal,
Yeah. That's like double. You know what I mean? It's like sweat equity. I totally agree. It's like
no, that was bad news.
She needs to, that's why I think she was a brief girlfriend. It's
also,
time for her to go.
It almost like if you're going to pick something up for someone, it sounds like it's something you would offer to do.
Yeah.
So it feels like she offered, but then almost was holding it over his head, like, well, how much did you spend on me back? And I don't consider $30 to be a huge amount that's worth making such a big deal over for someone who just bought you and made you dinner. You know what I mean? I feel like you buying and making me dinner is way more than $30.
I would have to be. It would have to be, right?
Right.
The price of food today, come on.
Yeah.
Especially a nice dinner. Especially a
Right.
nice dinner. Like, come
And even if
on.
the food was cheap, the whole effort wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, there's something a little bit more, romantic and, I guess, caring about wanting to make somebody food than buying them hair product,
Right.
right?
Which I would love it if someone wanted to buy me hair products. Don't get me wrong. I'd be very appreciative. That's expensive and I don't always know what to buy. So, okay, yeah, that's great. But I mean, if you wanted to make me a meal, ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah,
That's kind of
I
something
know.
along the lines of that I wouldn't really necessarily do for myself.
For yourself, exactly. It's. I think it's more intimate, right? Like
I agree,
that's it's
100%. Yes.
time, effort, consideration. It's
Yes.
not just going to a store and going, "Oh, I'm taking this. That'll do."
Yes.
You need to do your hair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keeping on the hunger track. This one's a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
I found out the reason that he rented the house next door to his parents, red flag, was so his mum would make his meals, wash his clothes, etc. He even had the audacity to say, "Let me call my mum," when I mentioned I was a little hungry.
Stop! Run, girl. You need to run. He will never marry you because he is already married to the lady next door, his mom. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. What? That's crazy.
Right?
That's so
Like she's the next door, like she lives in the servant's house next door, and she's gonna whip him up some grilled cheese or something.
But also, that is the mom's fault. She created that monster.
Right? That's a very toxic.
He left the he left the nest, but not really.
Yeah, the umbilical cord only stretches to next door. It's like yeah. I reckon she's the kind of mum that's got like pizza rolls always in the oven, ready to go.
Listen, I would like to be, friends that comes to that house and always has a snack. That's great. But I don't want to be the child that lives next door. That's crazy.
Yeah, no.
That's crazy. That's like on one of those TV shows where you go on the honeymoon and then you find out the mother-in-law is also there. No, thank you.
No. I think that's weird. Yeah, honeymoons with family.
That would give me the ick, big time, huge time.
Definitely, I think. Look, that sounds really horrible, but anyone that's that dependent on their family, not their like that in their family's life either, is a bit like, all right, you've already got so much of your energy, your time, like your mind devoted to your relationship with your family. Where does somebody else fit into that?
Exactly.
In a healthy way?
Like a yearly family vacation or a so often family vacation, that's different. That's healthy, lovely, beautiful, sure.
Yeah.
Not the honeymoon. That
Yeah.
purpose is supposed to be like this sacred bond, starting your life together as a couple, as a unit, not sharing all of that with everyone. And
yeah, not wake up at 9 o'clock. We've got to go on a hike with mum, grandma, and fucking auntie Trish, and then we've got to be back for 12 o'clock for lunch by the pool. It's like, no.
Because then it's also probably one-sided, right? It's one thing to have the whole family go, and then another thing to have only one family go, not the
one
other.
family go. Exactly, yeah. And I'm close with my family, but we've been away together once. And it was for my mum's 70th and my brother's 50th. It was the same. Like, we're like, okay, well, let's go for a weekend, and then half of them left anyway. So it's like, okay, cool. So,
right.
But I don't like. Good on you if you love your family that much, but I just, even in general life, I'm like a bit of a solitary person. Like my social battery goes to zero because I spend a lot of time giving it to other people. You're like, yeah. Then especially at Christmas, because when I work retail, Christmas time's horrible, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna come over for?" I'm like, no, because the last thing I want to do, and this is a big ick, is make small talk. Oh. Oh, the weather. No,
But
not the
you have
weather.
to. If you don't make small talk, you're never gonna talk to anybody, right? Like
And
on a
that's
first date,
permanently single.
you have to small talk.
Oh, Katrina, don't say that.
You have to,
Oh,
or you're never
oh.
gonna get past the initial anything.
All right, here's a typical male response. This is just say it was you dated a man, didn't you? First date with a guy who mentioned hooking up that night while I was talking about something else completely, and I continued speaking to finish my sentence. He immediately asked if I was ignoring him because I didn't stop speaking to acknowledge his inquiry for sex. It's like, check please, I gotta go.
Goodbye.
That's just a hookup. Like, that's not a date. It's like, oh, he just wanted to
Well,
get
it
it
was
in and
it sounds like it was supposed to be a date, and he was
yeah,
trying to turn it into a hookup. In my
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
This
the
one's.
one. We want that one.
I've. Oh no, this is not okay. Get ready. Grabbed me by the face on the first date, stroked under my eyes, and said, "You need to take better care of yourself." Sir, I'm a divorced 37-year-old with kids, and those under eye circles were passed down from my grandmother. They're family heirlooms. And get your hands off my face. We just met. This is not a Nicholas Sparks movie. Oh,
That is very cringe. That is not okay. I mean, is he a dermatologist offering you some filler and a laser? Like, why would you do
right?
that?
I
No.
think he thinks it was like a romantic gesture, like it was a Nicholas Sparks novel, but that's
Okay,
just
wait.
creepy.
So he's going like this, and then he's touching the under eye, going, "You got to take better care of yourself."
He grabbed her face. It's like, I don't
Well,
know if you should be grabbing my face on the first. Oh, well, you can on the first date, but like to tell you look bad,
no, that's not cool. That's
brother.
inappropriate.
That's no game. That's
I'm
just
trying to
that's
figure out a way in which to make that okay. Like, are you a professional offering some help, or are you just being a dick?
I
Why
think
would you
he thinks,
say you got to take better care of yourself? Basically, what you're saying is that's not good enough.
yeah, you're not good enough to wait. You look
You're
okay.
not
You
good
look
enough the way
horrible
you're
tonight.
behaving.
Yeah. Wow, say things without saying them. That's intense. I'm crying a little bit for that one. Woo, that was a lot. That was a lot. This one's a lot in a different vibe.
Okay.
This one smells like late teens, early 20s for sure.
Okay.
Had a guy once whose car smelt so bad I had to try not to throw up while sticking my head out the window. He couldn't smell it, and I thought I was going to die. Turns out he forgot about a double cheeseburger in the back of his car for over 2 weeks in the hot sun. I don't know what bothered me more, the smell or the fact that it didn't bother him.
Well, he was nose blind to it. He was so used to it. That's what happens. A lot of times, okay,
Oh,
a huge ick for me is if a person has pets. If a person has pets and their house smells like pets, they're nose
yeah,
blind to it. They have no idea. Like, your house stinks. That's gross. Air it out. Change the pads, the potty pads, or the cat box, or whatever it is that you and your animals use. Clean it
you
up.
and your animals.
And if you're nose blind to it, that is nasty. Ugh.
That's a sign. Yeah, that's a sign of something else.
Yeah, nothing. I want nothing to do with it. That's a big time ick.
Yeah, there we go. We're icking it up. People are
Ugh.
just checking off. If you're all right, if you are watching and you have an ick that we haven't covered yet, please make sure you comment because I want to get a list. We might be able to do a second show
Oh, yeah.
because I feel like there's a lot. We're not even halfway through this list.
Okay, keep going. Give him.
Isn't it good? I love it. All right. They invited me over dinner and had to clean the table. They just slung the food off the plate across the kitchen floor for the pack of dogs they had to fight over. So instead of taking the plates to the kitchen, they just threw the food onto the kitchen floor.
That means that the animals are eating off of the same plates that the people eat off of. That's gross.
It's a
That's
bit, how do you
gross.
go? I it's kind of like it's like that hunter gatherer kind of like trying to be rustic, man. You're just lazy, like you're just lazy, dude. Like
Disgusting.
feed your dogs. The dogs have a dog bowl
Right.
for a reason.
So that can't be healthy. Like they're not supposed to eat people food.
I know they get all big and malignant about it.
My parenting.
Yeah, your fur baby will not learn. And some
Mm-mm.
people did not learn from history. This one is a what the moment. She had an extensive collection of Nazi paraphernalia. She said she was interested in history, but only had Nazi shit. That's a 9 from me.
9.
That's a not. That is intense.
That's crazy.
That's not okay. I'm like,
wow.
Look, I'm going to say something, and yes, you can judge me from what's in the background. Anyone with an extensive collection of something, I would worry a bit. That's not extensive, okay? I have
so
seen.
you give yourself the ick. If you walked into someone else's house and saw that, what would you say? Give us
This
the truth.
is Cat. This is probably 35, 40. I've been into people's houses where they have them throughout the house. This is one room that they stay in because this is my little office
What if
room.
it was one room, floor to ceiling?
But it's not, yeah. Like I've been into houses where they have specially built shelves.
Justifying and answer the question. Answer the
Yes,
question.
well, obviously, I would be a little bit impressed. Like, wow, but like something as specific as Nazi memorabilia, like have. I would hope that she had blonde hair. He had blonde hair and blue eyes, because it's not gonna end well for the relationship when they start to try and breed and stuff. There's no master race there. It's just like, oh god. This one's a little bit longer. We're ready for it? It's worth it. Okay. I went on a date with a girl who seemed perfectly fine. Well, that's a nice statement,
I'll
isn't
start out that way.
it? She was really nice and made interesting conversation. Clearly cared and put effort into the date. That's always lovely. But then halfway through, she gets a call on her Bluetooth headset, which I hadn't even noticed was beneath her hair. Okay, so first of all,
you left her headphones on attached during the date.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we're getting worse. I don't know why, but it turned me off so quick. It was a co-worker calling too, and she started discussing some clearly stressful topic, planning a meeting or something. They got to near arguing, and she kept rolling her eyes and sort of half winking at me every time the co-worker said something that annoyed her. She ended up saying she'd just seen a car crash and she had to run. Which weirdly got me back to her a bit, since it was a slick move. Yeah, well, fair enough. But then immediately called another co-worker to complain about the first one.
Stop!
And kept winking at me.
Okay.
This is the icing on the cake.
Oh,
this was all on a Saturday morning, by the way. One of the weirdest dates I've been on.
That's not office hours.
That's not office hours. Like, is this bitch back in, like, 2000? Like, remember when it was hot to have your Bluetooth? Oh, I've got my Bluetooth.
I don't know. That's weird. That is
The only people that do that now are, like, douchey businessmen. Or realtors. Realtors always have it, don't they?
There are a few wealthy businessmen in my neighborhood that walk around all the time. And I know where they live because I just see them walk around the neighborhood all the time. And it's nice. Like, we have walking trails and lots of animals, and it's really cute. And the weather here's great. So people like to walk. But, like, dude, we have a nice gym. Go to the treadmill. Why are you walking around all the time? Get a life. Get an office.
Get an office, or maybe they're successful enough they don't need to be in the office all the time. You know,
It's
they have
weird.
that.
And if
They
they're
have that Mauricio. They have that Mauricio moment. You know,
well, if they're that successful, they don't need to be on the phone 24/7.
All right, here's an ick for me and it's not necessarily just a dating ick. People who use hands free all the time, speakerphone all the time, and walk around with it. That's you, isn't it? Is that you? Have I been on speakerphone?
Well, I sure do love speakerphone, but
you know, all right.
I don't do it in public. I'm not an asshole.
Thank you. Yeah, you don't go to like a restaurant and sit there and talk
all the time, 24/7. Oh,
in your house. Different.
When people do it in restaurants. The other day I was at Ruth Chris, which is a steakhouse here. It's nice.
Yeah.
Not the fanciest, but it's not cheap. It's good. And there was this man right across the table across from mine. La 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 la, super loud. La 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 la. And then his person who's on the phone with us like speaking Japanese very loudly out of the phone, and it is so loud. I said, sir, you are not in your office. I am paying good money for this meal, so I would like to enjoy it. I do believe that you could just put that call on your earphone. I see earphones, put it on there, or maybe just hold the phone. That'd be great. Thank you so much. And he did, but he was like surprised that it was bothering me. What?
You're like, dude, you're a pain in the ass. Like, we have it at the store I work in because we sell luxury women's handbags. So they feel like they're and it's video call. Like, video call. I've got this bag, rah rah rah, I had this girl.
Yeah, why are they so loud too?
Screaming. It's got a microphone in it. That's like, microphones will pick up your voice. You don't have to scream. So she was in the store yesterday not yesterday, last day I worked a couple of days ago. For nearly half an hour looking at the guest handbags. I'm like, okay. I got over it because like the younger girl I was working with was like, oh my god, she's so loud. I'm like, okay. So I just went out the back and turned up the music. I'm like, fuck you, get out of my store.
Good thinking.
She ended up buying 3 bags, so I'm like,
oh, okay.
I just helped her make the decision quicker, you know?
Yeah.
It's a retail trick, you know? It's all good. Just turn that music up. All right. This is a long one, but I think it's maybe a worthy one to end on. If we've got the first, if we're gonna do, I think we're gonna have to do a second one. There is so many stories, but strap in and strap on for this one because it's weird.
Strap on. I got it ready.
I got it already. Dated this girl for a short while, a month or so. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I visited her home once while her family was out of town. It was a mess and smelt bad. There we go. Because she had lots of pets. Wait for it. Birds, cats, a micro pig, and some very neglected dogs. The doggies were all matted up, smelly, and seeking love and attention. I inquired about the dogs, and she said, I don't know, they're not mine. Okay. When I said goodnight later from the car, she leaned in to kiss me, and I just didn't feel connected anymore. I called her later and asked more about the dogs. They were her father's, and he was never around. Her sisters and her didn't care for them, so after a couple of nights, I stole the dogs and took them to a rescue shelter. Oh, they're currently in a new loving home. The girl's family never even flinched at the dogs not being there anymore. I broke it off a few weeks later once I knew they were blissfully ignorant to their dogs being gone. She's a sweet girl and liked me a lot, loads of affection, but I couldn't be with someone who could just ignore innocent lives that way.
So you commit a crime, you get a red flag as well.
I know, but isn't a red flag when it's saving innocent lives that can't help themselves?
I mean,
Who
I'll
can say?
fish, but it's still a red flag in my book.
That's intense. Though imagine planning a rescue mission.
And staying with the person afterwards.
Well, I would have to because I would want to know how they reacted. I get that.
Okay, but then if you don't have feelings for that person, are you prostituting yourself for the greater good of some neglected dogs?
Well, I guess some people really love dogs, Kat.
But how much?
A little bit. It's like, all right, so this is a really good example of people that like book holidays and stuff and go, I'm going to stay with them because we have this holiday booked. We have this, or we have a wedding coming up, or we have this, or we have. There is never a good reason to stay in a bad relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if that's just me. Like, if I get the ick, if I'm soured against somebody, it's done. Like, I can't do the put up with, like, grind my teeth.
Like, I
I
won't
don't
break
know
up
how.
on your birthday, but any other day is fair game.
What
I might avoid
about
Valentine's Day.
what about the week before? That was
Fine.
just after. What about the week? Yeah, the week before it was just after their birthday.
Fine.
Fine. So I'm like, it was fine, was it? Look, okay. Woo.
No, I feel like that's an okay time.
That's okay. That's an okay time, so they don't have to spend the money that you spent on them. Okay, that's okay.
Oh,
But
well,
yeah,
I mean,
well,
I didn't mean it like that.
I'm joking.
I
I might be just processing a little bit of my previous angst. It's okay. It's
I thought
okay.
you meant
It's
it was
fine.
after the breakup E's birthday.
No, so it's all good.
Like,
But yeah, I don't know, especially even families. Like the parents are like, we're gonna hold on through this holiday. I'm like, that's the holiday from hell. Like, your kids know that you're gonna get divorced when you get home. Like, that's not a good like, we want the kids to have good memories, like, of you, like, white wine shaking, like, trying to get through this. It's like, oh my God, I don't know. Just get it. Once something has soured your effect. Well, I read a little study actually that a sign of when to leave a relationship, and once you have once someone you have a like a physical or emotional reaction of disgust, you should leave the relationship because you've lost respect for the person that you're with.
makes a lot of sense.
It does when you think about it, doesn't it? Because you can't get that idealized image back.
Yeah, you don't have that love blinding you.
It's
right?
interesting.
Like,
That's deep.
If they did something gross or whatever, maybe it wouldn't gross you out. But if you will get grossed out, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Like,
and that
thing is chewing loudly, then you have every right to be grossed out. And that's their fault.
We'll finish off on a short and sweet one because, we are short and sweet. We were talking about our interests, and after I listened to him blab on about his lawnscaping business, I went to talk about my interests. He interrupted me to say, wow, you really have nothing interesting to say, do you?
He's so rude.
I know.
Okay.
Come on, Dr. Cat, go for it.
Well, I mean, that guy's got to go because, first of all, he's self-centered. Second of all, he's rude. Third of all, he's not really interested in you because he didn't even take the time to listen or contribute or try to have a conversation with you. So cut your losses, deuces, goodbye.
Right. You got to get out of there because that's like, I will listen to some shit, like and when you're on a date, you're like, yeah, okay, this is fucking killing my soul, but I'll listen because I'm trying to see, how this works.
And you can't even behave in the beginning, then you can't even behave. No thanks.
But not even like the fact that he didn't even wait for her to finish. He just cut her off. Wait, well, you've got nothing interesting to say at all. The audacity. The audacity. I know that kind of makes your blood boil a little bit. I hope that she at least like threw a drink at him or something.
Something, yeah.
Like I'm not normally one of those people who would condone like going to the bathroom and leaving a date, but this guy deserves it.
Oh,
He deserves it.
yeah. I have an ick. Do you remember that lady who ate like 48 oysters or something on a date? She was
Yes.
supposed to have one drink with the guy, and then she ordered like 4 plates of a dozen oysters, and then
And expected him to pay for it.
expected him to pay for it. He disappeared into the bathroom, never came back. And she also proceeded to order other stuff too, like corn and sides and rice and all kind of stuff. Well, the bill was $250, and she's like, I have to pay myself. Ah. Okay, lady, you give me the ick. Also, she was
Right.
Oh, gross.
I know, and dozens of oysters. She'd just be slimy.
So many.
Like I remember that. Like it was like 48 oysters, wasn't it? It was a few.
Crazy, outlandish. Like, you order oysters by the dozen. Like, okay,
yeah,
maybe a dozen, maybe 2. Who eats that many? That's a lot. And then proceeds to have dinner and expects a stranger to pay.
Especially when someone else isn't eating. Like that's the like when I'm on a like the whole paying thing is a negotiable thing and all that kind of jazz. But I'm always
so wrong.
Look, in the modern day, some people get offended and whatnot, but I think that I'm always wary. Like I want the other person to order first because I don't want to be the one that goes, "I'll have this," and they go, "Oh, that's like X amount of dollars."
I'm always that person. I always order the whatever.
I have seen your Instagram. It's okay.
But I don't order anything that I wouldn't order when someone else is supposed to pay. I'll usually try to keep it down when someone else is paying. But
exactly. And I wouldn't go out of my way to order something expensive just because someone else is like, I'm going to pay for you.
Right. And if I order something, then I'll pay for it. Like, I'm not trying to spend other people's money. That's rude.
My general rule is if I can't afford to pay for it myself, then I wouldn't order it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
and
if you go out to somewhere where they're like, hey, would you like this lobster that's blah, blah, blah? It's like, yeah, I fucking want that. Like,
probably would.
you and I like, yeah, we'll have that. We'll have that. We're fine. We'll have cocktails to go with it. It's all good. Keep it coming. I don't care. I'll get a loan. We'll finance it later. Just keep it coming. We'll be all good.
If the restaurant has caviar, even better.
Hey, well, this is the thing. All right. I have never partaken. So next time I am with you, you might have to give me caviar 101.
For sure.
Might have to be
way. By itself,
because you do it right. I watch you. You do it up.
Yes.
All right. That's the kiddie way, and that's how we should all live our lives. That's how we should, the Katrina A Johnson way. Look, time flies when you're having fun, my love. It's already nearly been an hour, so we got to get out of here. But I think there's a second show here
for sure. We got
and we've got to find out Jeffrey's ex because I can imagine Jeff's are very specific. I know, right? So thank you for joining us here on What Happened Was. For the first time in a long time, I've done the cat growl, but we will definitely be back sooner rather than later. Thank you for joining us today, Miss Katrina A Johnson. I've been Steve, and until then, keep your icks to yourself, people, because no one wants to be icky, right? Bye, everyone.